Hey everyone, and welcome to our weekly Q&A presented by Just Love. I'm your host Paula Jane, and I'm talking to Judy Carroll. Judy is an internationally known author. Her books include The Zeta Message and Human by Day, Zeta by Night, and her most recent book, Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth. Welcome, Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
Today we'll be talking about how Judy is a blended soul and what that really means. Judy then goes on to speak about what a walk-in is and recounts her experience for us. So Judy, you are a blended soul. I see that as having access to higher consciousness. Would that be correct? And what does being a blended soul really mean? Can you expand on this?
Yes, I am a blended soul. I've had conscious awareness of a connection with two cultures, Earth, human and off-planet, for many years. This is a choice made by the soul essence at the time of preparation for reincarnation into a life experience. So it's a pre-birth choice. Why I chose this was to enable me to carry out work consciously, both down here on Earth as a human and also up on our ships as a grey.
That's interesting. So you mentioned soul essence. Can you explain this?
Yes, everything in the universe is energy. When we're making our pre-birth plan to reincarnate, the energy frequencies required for the life ahead build up around the pure soul essence, like the layers of skin on an onion. In this way, the soul essence begins the process of individualization from source or oneness and into closer synchronization with a planetary collective consciousness, a species consciousness, and the racial group mind that has been chosen for the coming life.
Okay, two questions. So let me make sure I've got the onion analogy correct. The center of the onion reflects the source, and the layers around the onion depict which life you've chosen to live, whether it's on Earth or somewhere else. Regardless of where we consciously live our life, we are always connected to source. And you've chosen to live two lives, thus you being a blended soul.
Yes, exactly. We are a soul. That's the eternal core part of us, the real us, in other words. The planetary culture, species, race, religion, etc. that we choose to be born into is just like the costume and makeup put on by an actor on stage or in a movie. It's not the real us. It's just a temporary role we've chosen to play for that one life.
Does your higher self choose the coming life?
Yes, it's a free will choice made by the higher self, which is the soul part of us. Those souls like me, whose work involves being an interplanetary ambassador, synchronise with the energy frequency of two rather than one planetary culture. This enables us to understand and connect with both groups to help integrate the two. In my case, I live a double life as an Earth human by day and as a Zeta Grey by night. Hence the title of one of my books, Human by Day, Zeta by Night. This was actually one of my first books and is presented in semi-fictional form for several reasons. Firstly, back then I was really scared of coming out openly as a blended soul ET. Secondly, I found using a fictional format made it easier to present ET reality in a way that Earth humans can relate to. And thirdly, it appeals to a wider readership, so it's less confronting for those who are new to the field of ET Earth-human contact.
That's true. You describe how you first found out about being a blended soul in both your books, the book The Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth and The Zeta Message. You said it was a type of walk-in experience. So can you explain to us what a walk-in is?
Yes, there are actually two types of walk-in experiences. The first is what people usually think of as a walk-in, in which the original consciousness, spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, steps out of the body and another different consciousness steps in. A near-death experience is usually involved, which enables the original consciousness to vacate the body to allow the other consciousness to enter.
Well, this can sound rather unusual and foreign and probably a little bit scary for people hearing it for the first time. How does it all play out?
It's not possession. That's important to understand. Permission is always given by the original consciousness to allow the process to happen. It's usually that the original tenant of the body has completed whatever tasks they needed to complete in their life, so they're ready to leave, and the incoming soul has work to do that requires a fully matured adult body on short notice to carry out a task.
So if people are familiar with what a walk-in is, this description is what they're usually going to think of.
Yes, it is. But the second type of walk-in is what I experienced, with one part of the consciousness coming in first and then more came in later. In my case, I first needed to fully experience what it's like to be an Earth human, so as to experience firsthand the human fear factor in ET contact. I did this because a large part of my ambassadorial role between Greys and Earth humans is to help people with this fear. I needed to experience it personally in order to be able to empathise more fully.
Yeah, so you experienced your childhood just like anyone else here on Earth. However, because you had to fulfill your ambassadorial role, you also had to experience the fear associated with ET contact. Were you contacted as a child?
Yes, I was aware of something strange going on during the night, right back as far as I can remember. I also had an irrational fear of things like dolls, puppets and eyes, which I found out later is typical of those undergoing contact with the Greys.
Right.
My mum even had to black out a picture in one of my storybooks of a cat hiding in a bush with only its eyes showing, and also another one of a puppet. After 15 years of experiencing life this way as an Earth human, a part download happened with the ET side of my blended soul. At age 15, the fear began to dissipate, and I started becoming more consciously aware of an ET teacher who was a tall grey, guiding me along my life path. Then after another 15 years at age 30, a bigger download walk-in occurred.
So what happened in the second download or walk-in experience?
This was a very full-on process that first involved a conscious meeting with my teacher Maris, during which my final permission was sought. Then a week later, the process was carried out. It happened during the day, and I was made to lie down in the back bedroom of our home, where I wouldn't be disturbed, and I was placed into an altered state, partly out of body. 3 Greys were present in the room, one of them being my teacher Maris, and 2 others, whom I immediately recognised as family. There was an incredible sense of love, protection, trust between us, quite beyond words.
Oh, this doesn't sound like any ordinary day. Were you scared?
I'd experienced some panic at first with the body paralysis and the weird buzzing sound in my head, but once my brow chakra opened and I was able to see and recognise them, I relaxed.
So you actually knew who they were?
Oh yes, as soon as my brow chakra, my third eye opened and I could see them, it was like, oh wow, it's only you guys. Ooh, that's okay.
Okay, so what happened next?
A massive download of ET consciousness was placed into my consciousness. I was aware of it flowing in through my crown chakra point. Instruction was then given on the training course that I needed to undertake in order to be able to carry out my ET work. They advised me to learn to meditate to facilitate communication, and also to learn Tai Chi and a natural healing modality that turned out to be Reiki. Until then, I'd never even heard of these things. The Tai Chi and Reiki were to assist in keeping my energy system in balance and harmony, but they told me that I'd be teaching these eventually, which I now am. But many years of study were first required. This experience happened back in 1983.
So quite a few years ago. Wow, that's what's happened to you and what you describe as a walk-in experience.
Yes. With this type of walk-in, there's no need for the original consciousness to vacate the body. The process simply involves more of the original consciousness stepping in to enhance what's already there. Okay. It took about 3 years for the complete blending into physicality to take place, and I certainly did feel different afterwards. Much calmer, more peaceful, just more spiritual. Up until that point, I'd always sort of drifted through life feeling a sense of loss and of not belonging. Once a reconnection with my ET family was made and a reminder of why I was here, things fell into place very quickly.
I think we're all starting to understand you a little bit more each week by you being so open and answering all these questions. So thanks again, Judy. And your books are available through Amazon and Kindle, or you can go directly through Judy's website, which is included in the link below. So if you like this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel. So thanks, Judy, and we look forward to our next Q&A session. Bye for now.